All right, altcoin season has been officially confirmed. It's been officially confirmed, folks. I'll show you how. And do you think it's now the time to get into altcoins because this market is so diluted right now, right? Are we better off? Are we better off just getting into, say, crypto stocks like the Bitcoin stocks and Ethereum stocks and the Solana stocks? I know that a lot of the large altcoins are running right now, like Solana, BNB, right? Making new highs. That's what this episode is going to be about, plus a couple of warnings just to make us, a bit careful because it's not all smooth sailing, even though everything's been going according to plan. As I've been saying, right, on the lower time frames, this was shoulder, head, shoulder. We break the neckline. When it was pulling back, I said we're going to break through that neckline and then hit that resistance, 116 area. Why is 116 resistance? Look at this, right? Enough said. I've spoken plenty about this level here. We get rejected. I said we spend a little bit of time here, but eventually I think we break through and hit this 119 area because that's the target of this shoulder, head, shoulder. But once we hit 119, I think chances are we keep going and break through. So what makes me think that altcoin season has been confirmed? Well, for once, you've got like Ethereum having a big run, right? Now pulling back. Look at Solana, folks. First, have a look at BNB. BNB, I think it's making all-time highs. Where is BNB? BNB making new all-time highs, right? Oh, topping tail, right? Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens over the weekend. Still, look, even if we put this on a weekly chart, right? On a daily, if it's a topping tail, that means we get some pullback. But on the weekly, this is, even if we close here, 927-ish, right? This weekend, then that's still, weekend hasn't finished yet, right? Still got a day to go, but that's still a solid finish. Like for example, Solana is looking good. And by the way, in my opinion, XRP is also looking good. Look, Solana, weekly chart, also looking good. Now, let me put it on regular. See, that's the rising triangle, the rising triangle that I've been talking about, and it needs to close solidly above that. And we have the worry is more on the daily chart, right? That's okay. It's not a top and tail. So let me show you guys XRP. I know a lot of people are XRP fans. XRP is actually looking good for once. I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. So XRP. We have, this is kind of a bull flag broke out, but it was kind of a fake out. But it's still, this bull flag worked because look at how many times you had XRP price bounce off this bull flag, right? So it's not wasted. Second bull flag here. Let's draw this out. Okay. Here we go. Second bull flag. Yeah, that works for me because you've got 1, 2, 3 pivots. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pivots up here. So we broke out of a bull flag. Didn't go much further. This is from 238 to 338. Went $1 further and then came back, bounced off this trend line or bull flag. And now we're inside a bull pennant. I believe this is what I would call a bull pennant. Let me show you. Okay, so this is or a falling wedge. Could even call that a falling wedge. Oh, that's actually good for XRP. Falling wedges tend to resolve to the upside, which it has right now. A falling wedge or falling triangle, right? Boom, resolves to the upside, and I'm thinking a run. Let's do a projection. Why not? So a run up here. The next number up here, $4.40. Yeah, that looks like a reasonable target. Next target on here. This is just a pure Fibonacci projection. There are other ways we can do Fibonacci projections. Let me do one from here. Let's see, Fibonacci projection, trend-based Fibonacci projection. We go from here, top, bottom, and what's the projection here? 350. Oh well, that's kind of a double top. So yeah, that doesn't mean much. $4. Okay, $4, and then 450 area. Yeah, because you've got this one and this one. $4 and then 450 area to look forward to for our XRP fans. So these are all coins in the top 10, and they're doing well. That's why I'm saying that that's one way of saying altcoin season has been confirmed. Here is another way to look at it. So here is the altcoin index, right? Altcoin index. I don't know. It's basically the way that you know, some folks use a number of different indicators and they calculate this altcoin index. We can see that was a very short altcoin season at the end of 2024. That's why a lot of people round tripped and got caught in it. And then it was pretty much all Bitcoin season. See down here, Bitcoin season, and then altcoin season again. We're here, but is it going to be a short flush once again, right? Now, before we answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Jimenez use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means the exchange itself can't even see who you are. You don't have to hand in your ID. So therefore, the IRS can't see you. The tax office can't see you. FBI, CIA, nobody can see you. Total privacy. That's why Pablo has made this deal with them, right? The Pablo Jimenez deal, trade with Pablo, weekly prizes of up to $25,000, right? So that's the way to sign up. And these deals are all for limited time only, so it doesn't last forever. So I would jump on it. Basically, if you're watching this on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. If you're on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. But if you're watching it on this platform or any other platform, that's okay. Just click on my profile page and there is my link tree or stand link. We click on that and it should be the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. But remember, this deal is only on the Pablo Jimenez link, only on the Pablo link. So we've seen XRP. That's another sign. So this is altcoin season. So what we don't want is another, right, flash in the pan, like altcoin season lasts for 2 weeks and then boom, it's over and we get back to Bitcoin season. How do we prevent that? Here is one way of looking at it. So this is what happened last time. Like, remember, this was December when November, Trump got elected. Trump was coming in, right? In January 20th, everyone's getting excited and then boom, flash in the pan, fake out. Wouldn't call it a full fake out. Maybe you want to call it a mini altcoin season, right? Everyone got fooled. So we have to watch this chart carefully to see when we're exiting altcoin season. Okay, so here is what happened in December last year. But this was the breakdown in November, December, and now here we go. Here, let's see. So the one way we can tell, this is November, December when Trump got elected, 108. The top was in Bitcoin. We flushed down, but then Bitcoin came back to 109. So this wasn't terrible. This kind of lasted till mid-Jan or end of Jan. It wasn't terrible, right? At least for Bitcoin. For alts, they might have just disappeared after January, end of December. The way we can tell is by looking at how much gambling behavior there was, how excited the market was. And here it is. Basically, see the yellow line here. The yellow line is total open interest, right? And the white line is total open interest, but not including Bitcoin, right? So in other words, the white line shows all the alts open interest, and yellow line shows all the Bitcoin open interest, right? Well, here actually, it's probably better to look at that chart. It's easier. We can see it here. Bitcoin open interest and all alts open interest. And what that seems to suggest to us, and I think I've made videos about this before, is that every time when we get a massive gambling behavior in alts, people pile into alts, then what happens is, like, most of the time you can see when Bitcoin's down, when not much is happening, alts, right, level of interest is kind of similar to Bitcoin level of interest. Open interest just means how many contracts, futures contracts, they're open. But when people pile into alts and alts are running and alts open interest goes way above Bitcoin, then we get the signal saying, hey, that's the top. And if you took that as the top, you would have got out pretty accurately on altcoins. But, you know, in January, Bitcoin was still up at 109K. We're still doing okay. Now, this time, we're seeing similar signals again. So basically, alts are up and it's way above where Bitcoin is, right? So how long does this last? I mean, do we get another triple top here around 123, 24K and then go down, kind of like what we had here? Or do we get one final blow off top leg here, right? So how do we measure this in terms of time? Well, have a look at this. This was, I mean, we'll go even back further. This was the March period, right? March period, and basically, look, these are the two periods when alts open interest was higher than Bitcoin interest, meaning more were being traded on alts futures than Bitcoin futures. This was between these two peaks. They're measuring the peaks. The peaks came in between 13th of March and 24th of April. So that's 1 month and 11 days. 1 month and 11 days. This one, they've measured a second set of tops, and that was between June 5th to July 20th. 1 month, 15 days, or 1.5 months. Now, this one is the one we were looking at before, the December 1 to January 1 when Trump got elected. And look at this. This is between 5th of September to Jan 28th. So in other words, that's about 1 month, 23 days. So are we catching the pattern here? We've seen a pattern here, right? I mean, yeah, here we had a brief one. Here we had a brief one, but obviously it didn't signal a top. Bitcoin kept on going. So now where are we? We are looking at this is 21st of July. These are weekly charts. So for this week, it hasn't updated yet. So maybe we're already above 113 here. We're already at 116 level, just a blow. So this will continue to go up. And so far, we are, 1 month and 3 weeks. 1 month and 2 weeks into 1 month and two weeks into this run. So by this definition, if we were to believe in this definition of what's happening, then this is already a warning signal saying that we're near a top here. Maybe we'll get 1 more week before this tops out, right? Before we get a real top signal on because the amount of futures trading contracts on altcoins is much larger than Bitcoin, as we've seen before. But look, nothing in trading in the markets is 100%. And especially we can't trust signals 100% like this, because now we're supposedly in a blow-off top. What if this is the one time where this signal gets it wrong? And this signal certainly doesn't get it right all the time. So like there are other ways of verifying what's going on. Like this signal, for example, this signal is still up. Hasn't broken down, turned down yet. So we could watch this, for example. Other ones we could watch are basically like, say, for example, ETH Bitcoin. If ETH Bitcoin is still climbing, then how can we say, right, we've broken down? So ETH Bitcoin still looking strong. Look, as I said, this is some kind of bull flag or a bull wedge, bull pennant, bull triangle, and we've broken out and we're still running here. What about Bitcoin dominance, our favorite? Okay, let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Making a bottom here. So hang on, I should just adjust it to regular chart. So as I've been saying, I was expecting to come to hit this chart level, then break down, right? Bounce off this level, then break down. And that's what we had. That's what we had. So boom, and then we break down. We would want this chart to at least keep going down, like hit this level, as I've been saying, 54.6, 54.6. Okay, I'm gonna try to draw a trend line here, see if this works or not. Let's go with this line and this line. We've broken that as well. Yeah, we've broken this trend line as well. So this is it's hard to deny altcoin season's happening. I've gone with the more shallower angle, right? This trend line here, it's also been broken. I mean, I'm making this video Saturday afternoon, 2:15 p.m. US time. So by Sunday close, we could still have this. I know this is a bottoming tail, and that means we get a bounce. We might hit this line again, or hit this 58, right? Trend line, which we've broken down from, and then keep going down. So just have to watch that carefully to see how much more strength Bitcoin gains. I'm putting on the weekly. Yeah, once again, top and tail, but on the weekly, it looks okay. It looks like we're continuing down and going down to 54% perhaps. I mean, so far we're seeing BNB breakdown. We're seeing Solana breakdown. We're seeing BNB make new all-time highs, Solana make new all-time highs, XRP's primed, so a lot of these coins are doing well. Altcoin season. Okay, so let's have a quick look at a couple of Bitcoin stocks. So since ETH is doing okay, this is SBET. I think most of the question will be about SBET because it has had one of the more poorer performances. But for SBET, what I would say is this. Here is my rough Fibonacci or Elliott wave chart. I'm not an Elliott wave specialist, but I would say now's the time to probably get in again. Look, last time I called it was exactly around $9, right? I bought it somewhere around here, like DCA 2 or 3 times, telling folks that's what I was doing, right? Went to $40 and then came back down. So this is how I see it. We've got wave 1 and then wave 2 down, right? Wave 3 starts here. This is major wave 3 and it goes all the way up here for wave 4, right? So it goes 1, 2, 3, 3 to here, 4, something like this, and then 5. Okay, for the smaller subwaves, what they call subwaves, it's these ones in bracket. And I probably should put it into, say, red or something, so folks can see it better. For folks who don't really understand Elliott waves, it's basically, just remember that there are waves within a wave. Like, you know how when you're surfing at the beach, you see a big wave coming. But when you look at inside the wave, there's a wave inside the wave as well. So some people draw like this. I've seen some charts like this, but I think they're just drawing the subwave. They're ignoring the wave 1, wave 2. They're just drawing these waves, but they're actually the subwaves. So the subwaves, in my opinion, this is wave 1, this is wave 2, then wave 3 is basically starting here, right? So wave 3 ends up about here, then wave 4 starts, ends up about here, then wave 5, and that ends here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that means that's the completion of the blue wave 3, which is the bigger wave 3. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Blue ones are the big ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, pullback, 5, right? Whilst the red ones are the 5 waves inside wave 3. All the red ones in the bracket are basically just describing wave 3. Wave 3 essentially goes like this, but it's going to go up by doing these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So I still think SBET has a lot of bright future ahead of it. And Bitminer as well. SBET essentially is being valued below net asset value. And we know Bitcoin. So like they're being valued below the amount of ETH they hold, and ETH has gone up over the weekend as well. So I'm expecting a jump up on Monday's open, and as ETH goes above 5,000 to 6,000, maybe 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, then even if they don't buy any more Ethereum, SBET should keep on going up. And also basically because their stock is worth less than net asset value, so they've done the smart thing. They've decided to go ahead, not buy ETH, but buy back their stock, because that's cheaper than ETH right now. So that's the smart thing. I could do more on Bitminer and UPXI and and BTOC. These are the treasury stocks that buy Doge, that buy Solana, that buy Ethereum. I could do more of those for next episode. Let me know that if that's what you want to see. Leave it in the comment. Thank you. Catch you next episode.